And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports with your host, Jay Pops. Guys, we are back. We're back. And oh man, what a victory for those Texas A&M Aggies. Woo! Guys, we back, baby. This is the Connor Wigman that everybody was used to seeing. This is also the Connor Wigman that people were raving about before the season even started. Please forgive me if my voice sounds a little bit raspy, but my allergies are kicking in right now, okay? But guys, we're back. We're back. I will say this for all of the naysayers. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. A lot of people are a little bit upset of the simple fact that Connor came in and Connor looked like Connor. And that's okay. That's okay. Let them be upset. What I also will say is this. Marcel Reed absolutely pushed this team to be the number 15 team in the country right now. And for the ones that did not know, the AP polls have already come out. Texas A&M is your 15th best team in the nation right now. Okay? I'm going to say that once again. Texas A&M is the 15th best team in the nation right now. All right? Marcel Reed had a very big part to play into why Texas A&M has the record that they have right now. Okay? Another guy that has played a huge role, Le'Veon freaking Moss. That's him. Le'Veon freaking Moss. He is the number one rusher in the SEC right now. He's the number one leading rusher. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no doubts, no anything like that. I love how the way he's running ball, and this is what we need. Once again, it goes back to what I told you guys from the beginning, and I've said this on many a podcast. If Texas A&M is in a lead of 10-0 in the first quarter, they could possibly blow the team out. And that could be any team. I don't care who it is. If Texas A&M is up 10-0 in the first quarter, they could absolutely run the entire ball game. They could absolutely run the table and turn the tables. And that's what they did. What was the score in the first quarter? It was 10-0. What was the score at the final ending of the game? 41-10. This is what I've been raving about. You can't let the Notre Dame game be the final reason to why you think A&M is the way how they are right now. That is what I hate. I've been hating that so much, and I got so much scrutiny from what I said. And what I said was that wasn't the best version of Connor Wigman. You knew that. The other people in the back knew that, but they just didn't want to believe it. We need to get the other boy shot. Okay, cool, fine, guys. Hold on. Wait a minute. He came back the next game, in which nobody still gives him his credit for, but he came back the next following game. I'm talking about Connor here. Connor came back the next following game and went 11 of 14. He didn't have that many passing yards, and we know it. That's fine. We know the opponent that they were playing. He can't help that. But he did what he was supposed to do, and come to find out, Connor was hurt the entire time. So you guys go back and you guys tell me who you're going to roll with. Who are you going to roll with? A lot of people are going to downplay this victory and say, oh, Missouri really wasn't that good anyways. That does not have shit to do with Texas A&M and them beating Missouri 41-10. All the refs had something to do with it. I heard that the entire day. I'm still hearing it. The refs absolutely had everything to do to why Texas A&M won 41-10. If that's the case, then Vanderbilt, please step up. Shout out to them for beating Alabama, by the way. The referees had something to do with why you guys won. I'm here to say you kill that bullshit. The referees didn't have nothing to do with anything. They went out there and they won fair and square. Okay? They got the best version of Connor Wigman that had nobody saw since last freaking season and when he got hurt. Now they're here. They're back. They're ready to play ball. Excuse my son. He's walking in. Also, their team, they just won. What was crazy was that I had talked to him just the other day. And me and my son talk a lot. All right, I talked to him the other day. He plays football. and he was telling me something about the team, and then he went back and they put up a 34-0 victory over Oak Ridge ninth grade center. So shout out to Conroe High School. Also, Conroe High School, by the way, for the ones that's out here. Yes, baby, Conroe High School. They're 5-0, trending in the right direction. 5-0 right now. Just want to throw that out there. But we can get back to what we were just talking about. Okay? In which I hope we flip Dorian Brew. To be honest with you, I have not talked about recruiting at all, like I should have over these podcasts, because you guys know that I love it. But we should be in the thick of things to maybe flip Dorian Brew. All I'm saying is just watch. Watch out for certain things here. Okay? If A&M, ain't no if, because I said that A&M was either going to go 9-3. The floor is 8-4. That's the floor. The floor isn't 7-5. Don't give me that crap. The floor is 8-4. My record was 9-3. Well, what I just seen with Connor, but I did say the ceiling is 11-1. What I just seen with Connor Wigman, in which he done the interview after the game, y'all. He said it himself. He say, "No, man, going forward, oh, that's who you gonna get. I'm going to put this team in the best position to win." That's the team that you guys should have seen in a Notre Dame game. But that's okay. That's okay. We're going to keep on going, because guess what? College game day is going to be back in College Station. I know this. They'll be back. They'll be back. Texas is a long way ahead, so we're not going to think about them. Mississippi State is the next game. What will you do in Starkville? But before we get to Starkville, we're going to talk about this game that went on. So let's look at some stats here, people. Stat time. Stat time. Let's look at it and let's talk about it. Let's engage in it. Let's point out some things. Let's nitpick. We all love to nitpick. Let's nitpick just a little bit. I heard somebody say, "Yeah, man, Connor needs to get a little bit faster." That's now I'm nitpicking. He admitted to nitpicking. The defense, the defensive backs, they didn't play a good game. Nitpicking. How many yards did Brady Cook have? Let me look at it. I got it up on the screen. 186. And he got that. He probably got 50 of it well within the game being over with. When they went down there and scored 3 points, by the way, in which made absolutely no freaking sense at all. None. He only got 3 points. But anywho, Brady Cook got a touchdown. Kudos to him. No interceptions. Remember, in this game, nobody turned over the ball. So even the turnovers wasn't the reason to why A&M won 41-10. And to be honest with you, they could have won 56-10 if they would have kept going. If it wouldn't have been some flags in the red zone, we would have been 52-10. Yeah, I said it. 52 or 56-10. I said it. Yeah, they would have been. But we didn't, and that's okay. That's okay. 41-10, I'll take that victory any day long. All right? I will take that any day of the week. Love seeing it. And they were absolutely electric. All right? What do I think we need to develop on in some areas? Just get better at, defending the pass. I do think we need to get better right there. But however, we have some stars on that cornerback unit. All right? Will Lee III, please stand up. You didn't even send a blanket, and you said you did. I did not send that blanket. Guys out here making up stuff, I did not send that blanket. However, what was Theo Wee's ass at? He was on the bench with a blanket on. Put the blanket over your head. You came out with it. Put it over your head. Be done with it. He blanketed you. Blanketed you. Rest this case. It is what it is. He never ever sent you the blanket. At least that's what he said. And it is what it is. But you know what? You took that and you ran with it. So what Will Lee made sure that you done was take that ass whooping and run with it too. Because that's the only thing that you took from College Station was an ass whoop. That was a good old-fashioned ass whoop. And they needed that. We needed to see that. Can we do it on the road? Can we go to Mississippi State and can we blow them out 41-10? That's the question that I'm going to ask. It can happen. It can happen. But I just haven't seen it done in a very long time since Johnny Manziel. I haven't seen it. Can we go out there and do it? I believe we can. I do. So, guys, let's get back into these stats over here, right? So, we're going to talk about the Mizzou side real quick. Mizzou, Brady Cook, 13 of 31. Do you not know how terrible that is? That's terrible. 13 of 31. At some point in the ball game, when they threw his stats up, they said that guy was like 9 for 20. That's terrible. That is awful. That's god-awful as a passing quarterback. You know what Brady Cook looked like? When Eli Drinkwitz took over. That's what Brady Cook looks like. He looked like he went back to the old Brady Cook. That's how we made him feel. He was another one talking that the noise at Kyle Field wasn't as loud as the noise that they have in practice, which absolutely made no damn sense to me. He came, showed up, and he found out. He showed up and he found out. You know how that saying go? You fuck around and you find out. That's what Brady Cook done. He messed around and he found out real quick because they let him have it. They let him have it. I let him have it on TV screen, and those guys at the stadium let him have it, period. All right, so let's keep on going here. No, the running back, 10 carries for 30 yards. That's all you're getting from us nowadays. Shout out and kudos to that defensive line for taking care of their damn business. 6 sacks in this ball game. 6 sacks in this ball game. They made Mizzou offensive line look like dog shit. And I love it. I love it. They made them look like crap. I absolutely loved it. That lets me further know where I was at. I was just too far ahead. I should have been patient. I was just too far ahead. I told you guys we had one of the best defensive lines in the country still. No, regardless to who left, and which guys love to bring up, regardless to who left, there's still a number of guys from the number 1 recruiting class that are still there at Texas A&M. Jamar Stewart is one of them. Okay? He's one of them. I think Albert Regis was another one. It's still a lot of matter. We haven't even seen Malik Silver. Just be patient. Just be patient. DJ Hicks, please stand up. I did not know DJ got a sack. That's what I didn't know. I did not know that DJ Hicks got a sack in this ball game. This is what happens when you put that number 7 most talented team all together and make them play football for once. Don't have them run out there and feel like because they're Texas A&M that they can whoop everybody's ass. No, it didn't work like that. Now they're starting to feel their talent. The depth is starting to show with this football team. Shout out to Tony Moffitt, man. I'm gonna keep on saying that each and every. Shout out to Tony Moffitt. If somebody out here has the podcast video, please tag Tony Moffitt. Tag Tony, please. Tell him we appreciate you for coming to A&M and putting some strength and conditioning in these fellow guys that has been here. Okay? We don't have that many injuries like that anymore. And I love it. I love it, man. That was all due to strength and conditioning techniques, what all you need to do, foods, to everything like that. Shout out to Tony Moffitt, man, for just making these guys just a little bit stronger than what they already were. I love that, man. And we're seeing that. We're reaping the benefits of our labor. Understand that the fans does have something to do with a lot of this stuff that's going on, but it's all on the team to make everything happen physically. Okay? The fans are going to be there mentally because we're the ones that's shouting. We're the ones that's saying, hey, go out there and destroy him. We're giving that extra energy. But it's the players that play the game. It's the players that go out there and win the game. It's the players that go out there and put up 41 points like they did. That's kudos to those guys for knowing the playbooks. I don't know that Texas A&M playbook. Why? Because I don't have to. I don't have to. That's not my job, right? So shout out to those players for engaging in Colin Klein. Shout out to those players for engaging in Jay Bate, Mike Elko, Solomon. I think Solomon Holman or Holman Wiggins, our wide receivers coach, the running back coach. He's gonna get sought after. Somebody's going to come for him. Somebody is going to really, really come for him. All right. And I just want to let that be known right now. Somebody's going to come for our running back coach, because what people thought was that when Ruben Owens went down, we didn't have anything. They knew we had something, but they didn't want to admit to the simple fact of that we got just about everything that we need. And that's Le'Veon Moss. That's Amari Daniels. Shout out to Amari, by the way, for getting his touchdown. And shout out to E.J. Smith for looking like the running back that I know that he can be. That young man is going to be so good at the next level. Why? Because he is an all-around running back. If we did have Ruben Owens, hell, we probably would have won that Notre Dame game by a mile. With seriously rushing, a pure rushing attack. Think about what we're talking about here. And I'm going to get back to these stats. Not only do we have Connor Whitman, right, quarterback, we have Marcel Reed, we have Jalen Henderson, and we have Miles O'Neal, in which people forget about. Miles O'Neal is a true pocket passer with a huge arm and very accurate, by the way. The only reason to why he wasn't ranked so high is because he played for New York. I'm sorry, because he played in New York, or New Jersey is one of them. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then we got Hudson Longstreet, in which I don't think he's going to flip his commitment at all. I know who's coming for him. It's USC. USC is going to keep on coming until he signs. But I'm going to tell you one thing. When Hudson gets here, he's in a battle as well. Isn't that what you want? I'm going to say, isn't that what you want? Marcel Reed? Connor will probably go ahead and go to the NFL after this season. If he leads A&M to a dominant 11-1 record, in which Marcel Reed had something to do with that as well, but if he finishes this season and he gets Texas A&M to an 11-1 season and possibly the playoffs, right? Well, if you're 11-1, then you're going to the playoffs. But even if he just gets them to the playoffs, period, and he makes it a good stretch, let me back that up. If Connor takes this team to the SEC championship, in which we have been thriving to go to anyways ever since we came to the damn conference, Connor's absolutely going to the NFL, and he's going to get drafted first round, just like we all thought he was, right? So where does that leave you? Marcel Reed with game time experience. If Marcel Reed has that one good season next year, guess where Marcel Reed is going? Marcel Reed is going to the NFL too. But think about what I'm saying one more time. I just want to reiterate that. If Marcel Reed comes out next season and he leads this team to a championship run, you don't think he's going? He's going to the NFL, man. After that, who do you have? Miles O'Neal, Jalen Henderson, if he stays, and Hudson Longstreet. Your quarterback room is stopped going forward. Still, the thing about A&M is that we stepped up recruiting big time after Kevin Sumlin left. And that's all credit to Jimbo. I credit him like hell, man. I credit him on that. But with Mike Elko, Colin Klein, and our offensive line coach, in which needs to win the gap, we have to be patient, wait until the season ends. If this offensive line stays gelled together like how they've been doing, that damn offensive line needs to win the damn offensive line award as a team. I forgot what that award is named, but they need to win that goddamn award. Don't cheat them. Don't do that. Don't cheat them and be biased and look at other people because of the Notre Dame game. Don't do that. They need to win that award. Be right, be fair. They deserve that award. And that coach deserved the offensive line coach. Man, he deserves an award for the offensive line coach of the year. That guy is doing this damn thing. Everybody that I'm mentioning is going to be schools calling these guys, man. They're going to call them Mike Elko's staff. When we go 11-1, because and we'll look at that schedule here in a minute. This team has every bit of everything in them to end the season, regular season, by the way, 11-1, and make their way to the SEC championship game. Regardless if they beat Texas or not at the end of the season, if this team is doing what they're supposed to do and their only SEC loss is Texas, they're going to the SEC championship. And guess what? It's going to be a rematch in freaking Atlanta. So you got to understand what's going on when it happens. That's going to be darn good for this team in the trajectory of this program, man. All right, so that's all I want to say on that. That it'll be a whole nother podcast. We're talking about what I just talked about all over again, okay? So you guys just be patient and wait for me on that. My apologies for last week. Well, my apologies for over the week period. But I just had a lot of things to do. And I'm so sorry that I did not get that entire week done. You won't see that, though. All right, this week, yes, guys. We're getting this week done. And I know it's the bye week. It's the bye week. Another thing before we go back over, Connor gets another week to rest that damn shoulder, although it's already 100%. So you're going to get an over healthy Connor. What does that mean? You're going to get a Connor that's 120% healthy and ready to go. Nobody wants to talk about that. Connor never played Mississippi State before, right? He's played LSU already, right, and beat them, but he hasn't got a shot at Mississippi State. First time getting his shot at Missouri. All right, he has Auburn. You know, they're on the schedule. You know, and then he has Texas. You know, but we're gonna look at that schedule, you know, just to make sure that I'm correct about that. But anyway, so Luther Burton is going to be Luther Burton. 7 receptions for 82 yards. However, Luther Burton, I'm not going to say he was a non-factor, but he was a non-factor. They absolutely took him out the ball game. They took him out of the ball game completely. Okay, took him out. Right. So I see one of you guys over here, Texas Tars. When is Donovan Green going to play? That's going to be like a game time decision. Okay, you can guarantee that Donovan he's going to have his shot. It's just one of those. Hold on, Donovan, we're not ready for you yet. But when they do get in there, he's going to have his shot. You're just not ready for him yet. And I hope that does not affect anything about Donovan Green, in which I don't believe he's going to transfer out of anything. But it's just all about, hold on, wait. We know about you, and we're going to use you. I think all of these tight ends will get used in the Mississippi State game. I think they'll be a factor. But I think what Connor wanted to do was Connor wanted to prove a point and say, no, I still got some of the best damn wide receivers in the country. I still got some of the better ones. All right. Terry Bussey was one of them. Stand up, Terry Bussey. Terry Bussey, please stand up. I don't think a lot of people know you just like they should know you. So Terry Bussey, please stand up. That's the outstanding 5-star athlete, you know, and the 5-star freshman, by the way. What did he do on yesterday? He looked like a damn 5-star. That pass that he caught on the sideline, he's been doing that. He's been doing that his entire career. And I love it. And in this game, when the lights were bright, he turned it on, and he looked just exactly like his recruiting ranking said he was. I think he was the 15th best player in the nation coming out of high school, if I'm not mistaken. And Texas A&M landed him. He believed in Mike. He believed in Colin Klein, and he said, "No, I'm sticking. Come on, let's go. Let's do it." He stuck with us. Shout out to Terry Bussey for sticking around. Shout out to everybody that's still here with the program for just sticking around and saying, hey, I believe in the next coach coming through. Let's see what we got, and let's take a shot at it. Okay, Le'Veon Moss ended the game. 12 carries, 138 yards, 3 touchdowns. That 75-yard run by Le'Veon Moss, I've never ever seen that before in a very long time. What he's doing right now, he's on track to capture about 1,500 rushing yards. I haven't seen that since Travion Williams was here. Right? Haven't seen it since Travion Williams was here. The thing about Moss is that he is not finesse at all. He is exclusive power. So if you're in the way, he'll get you. He's a little bit finesse at times, but that ain't his style. He's more of a downhill running. He's more of a downhill running threat, but he absolutely has speed. And when he's in the open, he's going to burn. He's going to burn. And that's exactly what happened on that 75-yard rushing touchdown. Le'Veon Moss put on a running clinic. That was insane. That's the most insane I've seen Le'Veon Moss be all freaking season. But every game that he's played in, he's captured about 100 yards in each game. That's credit to the offensive line, and that's credit to Le'Veon Moss's vision. And that's also a tip to the hat to Colin freaking Klein. What Colin Klein wanted everybody to know was that when Connor Wigman was ready, he was going to have this offense rolling. And that was Connor. Connor had no touchdowns in this game, by the way. Not in the air, nor on the ground. But it did not matter because what Connor was efficient. Connor was 18 for 22 for 276 freaking yards. If that ain't efficient, then you come back to this podcast and you give me the definition of being efficient. That was efficient. And he went over 275 yards. Damn it, he went over 250. All we needed to see was 250. All we really needed to see was over 200 yards. He gave you 275 with a piece of change, turned it into 276. That's efficiency at its finest. That's the Connor Wigman that we seen run the game before. The last time he done that, he put up 4 damn touchdowns. And that was his very first game as a freshman against Ole Miss. I would never forget. You all would never forget. You may want to, but you ain't going to forget. And guess what? We ain't going to never forget this game neither. They ragdolled him. Mizzou came in as the number 19, and I'm assuming because they thought that they were wearing Mizzou helmets that they were going to whoop our ass. Wasn't going to happen at all. I said it all week. Who has the better team here? It was undoubtedly Texas A&M. So what happened? Who won the game? Texas A&M. I rest my case on that. I rest my case. Texas A&M was more dominant. Texas A&M was more riled up. And they were insane. And the defense with the goal line stop. And you're right. Why? Because number one, they weren't supposed to give up that touchdown. They wanted a 0 on that screen. They wanted to annihilate Mizzou in the worst way possible to send a message to not only Mizzou, but send a message to the fan base, which is all of us, and send a message to the SEC, period, in the college football nation. They wanted to send that strong message to tell everybody that they don't know why they slipped. They disrespected them in the polls last week, which was insane to me. They disrespected them. They had them tied with UNLV at number 25 because of them beating Arkansas. But now Arkansas beats Tennessee, and it's a level of respect going to Arkansas and that win for Texas A&M into why they boosted them up 10 spots. You should have been done that shit. In my opinion, you should have been done. A lot of people say don't worry about the rankings. I understand that. Understand that. But quit saying it. We're not worried about the rankings. We're just talking about it. We're not worried about it. We're just talking. Okay? So, yeah, the defense with that goal line stop at the end, they didn't want to give up any touchdowns. That was on their mind. That's a goal that's on their sheet of paper as a defense. No touchdowns. None. Those guys that played on defense on yesterday, they all look like first through fourth round picks. That's how good they look. That defensive line looks like everybody can get drafted whenever the hell they go up for the NFL draft. That's how that defensive line look. They got 6 sacks. I'm calling it right now. Next game, they'll get 7. Next game, they'll get 7. I'm going to go ahead and take my shot on that. I'm going to have to start doing an over and under on this. How many sacks will a team get? I'm going to shoot for 7, possibly 8. Right? I'm going to shoot for 7, possibly 8. But they're going there. The cowbells are going to be out. This game has been good for whatever reason. And we're going to watch it. I'm going to say that they're probably going to, it's probably going to be another 11 o'clock game. So guys, please get ready for that. It's going to be at 11. And I know what I'm talking about. It's going to be an 11 o'clock game. It ain't going to be 2:30. They're not going to put them on ABC. It's going to be 11 o'clock on SEC Network. I know that already. It is what they got to be determined, but it's going to be 11 o'clock against Mississippi State on the SEC Network. We all know this. All right. To be honest, the one play they did score, Shamar Stewart, was slightly held. He was, but hey, man, it was what it was. It was what it was. Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner, Nick scored, in which we haven't even much got to Nick yet. Nick scored, and Albert Regis. Those guys were monsters on that defensive line. They were monsters yesterday. And that's what we need to continuously see going forward. A lot of people kept saying this too about the defense. Oh, man, the defense hadn't been that good. We've worked with Mike Elko long enough to know that his defense shows up. I'm not going to say in the back half of the season, but his defense improves week after week after week. What they're doing now is starting to scare the crap out of a lot of people because we're sitting at the midpoint of the season. If your team is how the way they look at the midpoint of the season right now, sometimes it don't mean anything, but 9 times out of 10, it means a lot. That's the team that you're going to have going forward. All right, this isn't Kevin Sumlin's team before somebody comes on here and say that. Oh, man, well, we've seen it when, Kevin Sumlin. Think about what you're saying. That's with Kevin Sumlin. This is not a Kevin Sumlin team. Nowhere near that. Kevin Sumlin does not live in our minds anymore. He produced the Heisman winning trophy. He produced the Heisman winning quarterback, and he's gone. That's it. He produced first-round picks, everything. Kevin Sumlin boosted the program up, too, so we got to give him his credit on that. However, later on down the road, Kevin turned into Kevin. Put it like that, okay? I believe the time off for Connor really worked out for the better. He had that look in his eyes and was very much poised. Yeah, he did. That's why I say, did anybody catch the post game? Well, no, not the post game. Did anybody catch the interview before the game that went off of ABC and where they pulled Connor to the side and Connor said what he said? Connor said, "No, man, this is the team that you're gonna get going forward." Connor sending that message out to people to say, "Hey, man, y'all better be ready because this is us. This the real us going forward. This is the real us, and." You either deal with it, you either come out and you beat us or you don't. You either beat us or you don't. But this is the real us going forward, and we know that. Okay? So I love that, man. Love that. All right, so team stats. This was the team stats. Texas A&M had 20 first downs. Texas A&M was 7 for 12 on third down efficiency. That is freaking insane. That's insane. Total yards for Texas A&M, in which is most likely their highest yards of the season so far. 512 yards of total offense. 512. 276 passing, 18 for 22, 12.5 yards per pass. That's an enormous amount of stats, and you're going to get a first down every time. You're going to get a first down every time, man. Interceptions thrown, 0. Rushing, 236 rushing yards. Rushing attempts, 36. Mizzou, by the way, rushing yards, 68. Attempts, 30. If that ain't the baddest damn defensive stat that you've seen, from a defensive line holding some boys in check, then I don't know what we're talking about here. That's the baddest one that we've seen this season. That's good. That's damn good. So a lot of people don't want to see Connor Wickman. Then again, a lot of people are going to fake it and say, yeah, we want Connor. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because what you're thinking is that you're going to get the Connor in Notre Dame then. You're not going to get that Connor anymore. Listen to me sometimes. This is not being arrogant or anything. That Connor that you've seen, that's the Connor. That's the Connor. Connor does have experience. That's the Connor. So we're going to see. What juniors on that D line do we think will come back? Shamar Stewart will be one of them. He will be one of them. DJ Hicks, he's not a junior. He's a sophomore. DJ Hicks is coming back. But Shamar Stewart, for sure, he's one of those guys. Another one that a lot of you guys forget about, in which he isn't going to transfer, Gabriel Brownlow-Dendy. He'll be back. Gabriel Brownlow-Dendy had just been going through a lot of injury. He'll be back. Those are 3 5-star recruits that I've just told you about. That makes up that makes up 3/5 of their defensive line, because they like to run a 5-2. I think it's what 5-2-5 or 5-2-5 scheme, or something like that, or 4-3-5 or something like that. They love to run that defensive scheme. Those are the guys that you're going to see coming back, guys. DJ Hicks, Shamar Stewart, Gabriel Brownlow-Dendy, and Malik Silla. Malik Silla is going to come back. It's another guy on that team in which his name isn't popping up on my head right now for whatever reason, but he'll be back too. Also, Enoch White. He's a junior. He'll be back. He'll be back. Most of these guys I've named to you, they were all in that number 1 recruiting class. So why do you guys think that A&M can't go toe-to-toe with anybody in which we recruited with the best of them? We have recruited with the best of the best. And we have won against some of the best of the best. We're still winning against some of the best of the best. Hudson Longstreet. Everybody wants that guy. And I'm going to go ahead and point this out now. A couple of these guys that you see committed right now, they'll be flipping. They'll be flipping in A&M's favor. Just hold on. Hold up. Just hold up. Texas A&M will have a top 5 recruiting class. When this season ends, Texas A&M will have a top 5 recruiting. I'm not going to say they're going to get number 1 by all means, but Texas A&M will have a top 5 recruiting class again. And it's going to kind of be like, well, that's we're going to be the same old. Yeah, we are. We are. This team was always destined to be one of the top teams in the conference. They just had to get their shit together. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Sometimes it takes time. They just had to get their shit together. I think Mike Elko is going to lead this team to higher heights than what any coach has done in probably the last 30 years. And that's one of those. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to hype the season all the way up. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is that Texas A&M will go 11-1 regular season. I'm not ashamed to say that. They will go 11-1. 11-1. I believe Connor will stay healthy. I believe he knows his body. I believe he's getting the better medical situated attention now. That's the reason why they let him sit. It's very hard for a coach to do that. But Mike Elko knew what he was doing, and he chose to sit him. He chose to take a risk. We're going to go with Marcel. Yeah, we know he's not developed as a passer yet, and that's okay. But we're going to trust in who we got. I'm going to trust in the coach that I got, trust in the team that I have overall, and we're going to go out there and we're going to play some damn football. And we're going to win some games. And he done that. I believe that Mike Elko would deliver on this promise that he made. Okay? I do honestly believe that. And I think we'll be good. I really do. I think we'll be damn good. So man, that's one of my boys just boy running the whole commercial with the car in the background. Shout out to Kia, by the way. But yeah, man. So like I say, we're not going to be too much longer here because I do have to go in and I have to start putting some food together, and I'm going to start putting on some scary movies, man. I love this time of year. Starting to be fall in this October. All right, so like I say, 512 yards, 236 rushing, uh, yards per rush, 6.6. Penalties though, one thing, the most important thing, we got to clean up these penalties. 10 for 79. We got to clean that up, and we got to clean that up in a huge, huge way. Okay, so please look out for that. All right. Penalties on Mizzou side, 6 for 35, and they was crying the whole time, talking about they ain't get no flag, they ain't get the calls, and blah blah blah. Total nonsense. Total nonsense. Okay, so let me go to this recap here. Well, I'm sorry. Let me go to the box score. Connor Wegman, right now, QBR, Connor Wegman is the top 5. I think Connor Wegman sits at the 5th spot in total QBR for the week. You may see that every week. Don't be alarmed if you see that every week. That's all I'm saying. All right. But his QBR for this week was 93.7. What have we been saying? A&M just need a quarterback. He's back. All right. So Terry Bussey, 3 receptions for 76 yards. Noah Thomas, I believe he's now starting to believe that he's that guy in that wide receiver room. I think he's now starting to take that role. Everybody looked good. Those wide receivers look different. I don't know what it was, but they all look different. Ja'Dade Walker, 2 for 55. Le'Veon Moss, 2 for 35. Jabri Barber, 3 for 21. Amar Daniels, 1 for 10. EJ Smith, 1 for 7. Theo Mellum Ostrom, 1 for 4. Moose Muhammad, 1 for 2. Cyrus Allen, 1 for 1. Theo Mellum Ostrom, 1 for 4. That's going to change. Over time, that's going to change. Trust me. Nobody has forgotten about Theo. You can best believe that. Trust me on that. That hadn't forgot about him. The tackles, Dalton Brooks, 6 total tackles. Everybody got their shot in, and this is what I like a whole lot. Marcus Ratcliffe, 4 total tackles. Damian Sanford, 4 tackles. Shamar Stewart, 4 tackles. 4 tackles. That's good, man. Rodus Johnson. Credit to Rodus. Rodus got him a sack in, guys. Nick Scorden got about 2.5. No, I'm sorry. Nick Scorden got about 1.5 sack. Rodus Johnson, 1 sack. Albert Regis, half sack. Terrion York, he got a sack. DJ Hicks, he got a sack. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And shout out to Tyler White. I remember when that young man committed to Texas A&M. Shout out to Tyler White for coming through in the clutch. He had only 1 touchback, 3 punts, 139 yards, 46.3 average with a 53-yard punt being the longest. Shout out to Tyler freaking White. He has been killing it so far. I love that. Always said Texas A&M is a school for punters. All right, so let's pull up this A&M schedule real quick, in which I just wanted to show everybody, right? So we're on a bye week. We know that. We got Mississippi State, right? These are all conference opponents going forward with only one out-of-conference opponent, which is New Mexico State. So we have Mississippi State on the 19th of this month. We have LSU on the 26th of this month. We go to Mississippi State on the 19th. LSU comes here on October 26th. We go to South Carolina on November 2nd. We have New Mexico State coming here on on November 16th. We have Auburn on November 23rd, which in my mind is going to be a trap game. That is going to be a serious trap game because we don't want them to overlook Auburn and be looking dead smack at Texas. That is going to be a true trap game. And regardless if Texas is going to be ranked number one or not, they'll be ranked in the top five by the time we all meet up. They are going to be a top 5 team, and that's okay. That's fine. But do I fear any of these games? I do not. I don't know where this flies come from, but do I fear any of these games? I do not. LSU, I know that they can beat them. Mississippi State, I know that they can beat them. South Carolina, I know that they can beat them. No, I'm not going to bring up the all-time record. I'm going to leave that where it's at. Although Texas A&M is 9-1 against those guys. New Mexico State, definitely don't fear them. Auburn, I'm sorry, I don't fear Auburn at all. Texas, I don't fear Texas neither because I know their weak points at. It's just nobody has been able to exploit it yet. And it is what it is. But they do have weak points. A&M has weak points. Can you exploit it? I don't fear that schedule. Well, I don't fear the rest of that schedule. LSU is good. But how good are they? South Carolina is good. But how good are they? Auburn, they look like crap, but this is the SEC. Let's be real here. Any damn team can sneak up on you. Texas is good. It's the reason why they're number one. But we will see. We will find out next week when they play Oklahoma, and we will find out when they play Georgia. They're about to get into the meat of their SEC schedule. We will find out. As of right now, Texas A&M is the sole team to be 3-0. After the Mississippi State game, I expect A&M to be 4-0 in the SEC. And that hasn't happened in a very long time. So once again, guys, I love all of you for tuning in. I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about the bye week, but we'll also talk about recruiting on tomorrow. Where's recruiting? What is it looking like on the recruiting trail? We're going to talk about those things. We're also going to get into some history of Texas A&M and see what Mike Elko is at. What similarities are we getting at? As of right now, and I said this about Jimbo, and I know I did, and Jimbo could have been that guy, but he wasn't, unfortunately. Mike Elko could solely be the next R.C. Slocum, being that he is a defensive coach, but he could be better than R.C. Why? Because R.C., he didn't really have the offense like we wanted to have. Mike Elko has an offense that we really want to have, but we will see. We will see. All right. Once again, I love all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I got to go in here before my wife kills me, before my kids get on my behind, because they always tell me I'm out here for an hour, stuff like that. But hey, guys, I love it. I love what I do. And I love you guys tuning in. You guys are who makes the show, okay? So I love all of you. And once again, #GigaMax.